Hello everyone, back again with movie and tune recap. Today, I'm going to explain an American psychological thriller horror film from 2020, titled Lucky. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. The movie opens in an office where we meet self-help author, May Ryard discussing her latest book with her agent, Rob, and inquiring about the book's reviews. After their meeting, May heads to the parking garage, and while putting her box in the truck, she hears a distant scream. Despite this, May gets into her car and drives home to meet her husband, Ted. In the night, while sleeping, May is awakened by the sound of keys jangling, and upon investigating, May notices a masked man outside the window. She turns to call Ted, but when she looks again, the masked man has disappeared. May returned to bed to wake Ted and revealed what she saw. May becomes confused when Ted nonchalantly identifies the stalker as the same man who tries to kill them every night. Their conversation was halted by glass shattering in the living room, and Ted calmly tells May they now have to fight for their lives. Ted armed himself with a golf club before leaving the room. May followed but lost trace of Ted. She spots the masked man walking in the living room, and as she hid, she stepped on broken glass. After removing the glass, May quickly heads to the bookstore and armed herself with a key, but encountered the masked man. May fought the man, telling him to leave her house, but he attacked her. Ted rescued May by knocking the man from behind, leaving May terrified by what she just witnessed. Ted calmed her down, and as they walked away, they turned to see that the man had disappeared. Later, a group of police led by Officer Mercy came to the house to take a police statement. Ted recounted what happened, revealing that the man entered the house by smashing the front window in the dining room, and Officer Mercy said they were both lucky. The next morning, while having breakfast, May asks Ted to explain what is happening. Ted reveals that every night, a man comes to their house and tries to kill them, and he jokes about it. This angers May, and her confusion sparks an argument between them. Instead of fighting, Ted reveals he can't stay with May with this kind of attitude and decides to leave, promising to return when she has calmed down before driving away. The next day, May heads to a shop to buy weapons in case the masked man shows up again. She also buys plywood to replace the broken window in the house. Together, May and her assistant Edie fix the window. Edie, aware of what happened to May, decides to stay, but May refused her offer, insisting she's fine, and Edie leaves. Later, May calls Ted's sister, Sarah, to inform her about the masked man's invasion and asks if she has seen Ted since their argument. Sarah says no, revealing that her brother is stubborn and advises May to give him some time, assuring her that he will return home. At night, as May is packing her belongings, she hears noise coming from downstairs. She heads downstairs to investigate, holding a golf club, and is startled to see the masked man outside her window. May quickly hides, and as the man breaks into the house and approaches her direction, May hits him with the golf club, knocking him unconscious. However, the man regains consciousness and chases May upstairs. As he approaches May, she pushes him down the stairs, leading to his death. May immediately grabs the cell phone and calls the police to report the incident. However, upon her return, the man has disappeared. Once again, a police team led by Officer Pace arrives to take May's statement. May reveals she hit the man with a golf club and even pushed him down the stairs, but he wouldn't die. Officer Pace oddly steers his questioning to discuss a domestic dispute between May and her husband, but May insists it was just a little misunderstanding. With Ted not returning her calls, May looks for him at her sister-in-law Sarah's house. Sarah appears only mildly concerned about the repeated home invasions as she explains Ted went to stay with their parents. Sarah also vaguely refers to a previous fight between May and Ted. Upset with what Sarah said, May decides to leave. May attends a reading and signing for her latest book, Go It Alone. She notices her assistant Edie arriving late again, and distracted, May has difficulty answering audience questions. On her way home, May stops at a hardware store to buy supplies for fighting her attacker. At night, while May is half asleep, the masked man attacks her for the third time. May fights him off by spraying pepper spray on his face before stabbing him with her keys. Before she can call the police, the man disappears once again. The police show up, and while taking May's statement, Officer Pace tells her she is lucky and reveals he will put more patrol around her house and urged her to stay vigilant. The next morning, May and Sarah head to the gadget shop, where May buys a security alarm. Sarah apologizes to May for what she said last time and invites her to come and stay with them, but May declines. Back at home, after setting up the security alarm, May locks the doors and windows. As she sits down in her bedroom, May hears the sound of keys jingling downstairs. She arms herself with a butcher knife before going to investigate. She finds the masked man walking about and stabs him in the throat, and before May can restrain him, the man disappears once again. May cleans up the blood on the floor before the arrival of the police, but they can't find the intruder, and their help to May remains limited. Again, the masked man attacks May, and both of them engage in a furious battle, with the man cutting May on her arm. However, May gains the upper hand by stabbing the man in the throat. Once again, the man disappears before May can restrain him. May washes off the blood from her face, and as she packs the kitchen knife, she hears her doorbell ringing. She arms herself with a hammer before opening the door and is surprised to see that it is Agent Rob. Rob tells May she is lucky that her publisher wants another book. May defiantly contends that she is a hard worker, not lucky, and Rob thanks May for being his client before leaving. At night, while May is in the kitchen, the masked man invades again, and this time May reveals she is not afraid of him and asks the man what he wants. The masked man removes a butcher knife, and May arms herself with a hammer, but the man manages to disarm her and chase her. May manages to run outside and encounters the police, revealing that the man is back. The next day, a state-appointed social worker comes to interview May. May expresses her suspicion that something supernatural could be happening, as she explains she doesn't feel like she lives in a world she understands anymore. May also reveals she cheated on Ted, which caused a rift in their relationship. Despite this revelation, May insists to the counselor that the danger comes from the home invader, not from her husband. After the interview, May goes to stay at Sarah's house. During their conversation, May accidentally knocks over a wine bottle, and as Sarah bends to pick it up, May notices a scar on her back. May asks Sarah about the strange scar, and Sarah dodges the question, revealing the scar has been there for a long time, and their conversation is interrupted by Sarah's son, Cooper. Later, while May is going through her books on her laptop, she hears a strange sound and grabs a hammer before going to investigate. Entering Sarah's room, she sees the masked man standing over Sarah's corpse and immediately closes the door. May informs Cooper to call the police, and the masked man managed to open the door and chase May. The man apprehends May outside, and May splits open the man's head with a hammer before collapsing beside him. A paramedic helps May recover, but the masked man is nowhere to be seen. When May asks about Sarah, the paramedic reveals she has been taken to the hospital, and her son Cooper is safe, and the medic strangely insists that May follow his specific instructions. While the medic treats May, Officer Pace questions her about the attack. May becomes further confused when Pace mentions that this has been happening to her ever since the parking garage incident. May becomes overwhelmed by the authorities, medics, and social workers asking overlapping questions.
What time did you go to sleep? This is too much.
May escapes to her car and is suddenly transported back to the parking garage. Stepping out of her car, May sees Edie being attacked by another man and decides to help her assistant. May and Edie discover they are both reliving these attacks every day, and during their conversation, they spot the masked man approaching, and they manage to finish him off. As they run away, May and Edie come across more men attacking other women. Edie proposed working together to stop the attackers, but May contends that they can't help everyone. May further insists that there is no rationalizing what is happening and advises Edie to make a plan before walking away. As May turns back, she sees the masked man killing Edie, prompting her to flee. As May runs for her life, she ignores pleas from other women being attacked by various masked men. May manages to get into her car, and the man startles her from behind, but May starts the car and runs over him. However, the man didn't die. While driving, Ted suddenly startles May from the back seat. Angrily, May tells Ted to get out of her car and is immediately wary of her husband as she realizes they are now outside their house. May and Ted discuss the divide between them, and May says she thought she was being punished for infidelity, but after seeing other women experiencing similar assaults, she realized that wasn't true. May says she understands she isn't a bad person and asks Ted who the masked man is. Ted responds that it doesn't matter because it's simply the way things are. May suggests going inside the house, even though Ted reminds her it isn't safe for them in there. May tells Ted she wants to give up but knows she has to continue going it alone, and the two of them embrace. Suddenly, the masked man stabs Ted to death from behind, prompting May to run inside. She locks herself in the house before rushing to the window, pouring out her anger towards the masked man. However, he just smiles and walks away. The man approached the glass door and produce keys to get inside, which May tells him isn't fair. After asserting that she doesn't deserve what is happening, May stabs the man, and they collapse together on the floor again. This time, May removes the man's mask, revealing his morphing face cycling through all of the men encountered throughout her ordeal, including Ted. Angered, May stabs at the man again as the movie concludes. Okay guys, that's all the recap about Lucky from 2020. Thanks for watching, see you again in the next video.